Yesterday we looked at where ocean water is found and about salinity. Today we're going to be looking at where is fresh water found. Less than 3/100ths of the Earth's water is fresh water. This is water that we use for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. We also use this water to grow crops, make electricity, and make many products. Drinking water is also called fresh water. Right away, that's first thing in our notes. Fresh water has some dissolved salts, but much less than seawater has. So if you're just drinking a glass of water, you're not going to be able to taste the salt there, but there is some in there. So fresh water has some dissolved salts, but much less than the salt water in the ocean has. After playing hard on a warm day, a cool glass of water can taste wonderful. Where does fresh water come from? Almost all of the Earth's fresh water starts as rain or snow. Some of this fresh water sinks into the ground, some collects in rivers and lakes, some is frozen in ice sheets and glaciers. Which of these do you think has the most fresh water? You will find the answer to that as you read this lesson. Fresh water is not evenly spread over the world. Some places have much more fresh water than others, but no matter where you are, there is only a limited amount of fresh water. Water should be used wisely. The water supply can be extended by using less water whenever possible. So the other thing is there is a limited amount of fresh water, which is why we need to use our water wisely. Going on, scientists can help communities to use water wisely. They can give communities information about the location of underground water and about the water's quality. Scientists also can provide technology that reduces the amount of water a community needs. So just looking through this, we've got so water is falling onto the ground, seeps into spaces in the soil and rocks. So if it rains, it's then going to move down. And then just looking at the water table, which is just this stored water, it doesn't always stay level. Sometimes it can be higher or lower based on being in a hill or a valley. Pollution from the surface can seep into the groundwater in the same way that rain does. And then a lake, pond, and stream or swamp forms where the water table meets the surface. So we have to be really careful to keep that pollution out of all of the water that's sitting so that it stays fresh. All right, going on to the next section, groundwater. Rain or melted snow that soaks into the ground is called groundwater. So right away I'm going to get that down. Rain or melted snow. That soaks into the ground is called groundwater. This water fills spaces between particles of soil and rock. Groundwater keeps sinking until it reaches the layer of rock or clay that it cannot move through. Some layers of rock or clay act like a dam to keep the water from moving deeper. The water can slowly flow over the top of these layers. The layers of rock and soil that hold the groundwater is an aquifer. So I'm going to write that down. So what is an aquifer? An aquifer is the layer of rock and soil that holds the groundwater. Going on, the top level of groundwater in aquifer is the water table. So I'm going to write that down. What is a water table? A water table is the top layer slash level of groundwater in an aquifer. The level of water table changes during the year. It will rise when water is added by rain or melting snow. It will become lower when there is a drought. Many people get their water from wells that go into an aquifer. The water table will become lower when people pump water out of the aquifer faster than it is replaced. If we do not use groundwater wisely, some aquifers may become dry. So if people are using wells, they have to replace that, whether by adding water or letting it rain or having the snow melt. So the water in the aquifer must be replaced or it will get low or possibly empty. Going on to the next section, we've got rivers. Surface waters include rivers, streams, and lakes. Melting snow, rainwater, and groundwater all help form Earth's surface waters. Waters from rain and melting snow flows downhill in small streams. These small streams join to form larger streams and rivers. Most rivers eventually flow into the ocean. Groundwater also seeps into rivers. The area from which water drains into a river is called the river's watershed. So just looking at our notes from that first part, so surface waters include rivers, streams, and lakes. And all of those together are made from melting snow and groundwater. So it goes from melting snow, rainwater, groundwater, to small streams, to large streams, and then to the river, and then to an ocean. And then the area from which water drains into an ocean, into a river, is called the river's watershed. So when water is draining into a river, that's the river's watershed. What happens on land in a watershed can affect places far away. If chemicals are placed in the watershed, they may be carried by water to rivers. Rainwater may erode soil from fields and construction sites. The soil could run into the rivers and cause changes to the ecosystem downstream. Many researchers are studying how these and other issues affect watersheds. So just looking today, we looked at freshwater, groundwater, and then rivers. Tomorrow we're going to be finishing the section looking at lakes and ice, but for right now you can put your notes in your book, close your book, and then we will finish the backside tomorrow.